If you couldn't tell from the title, I'm going to be doing a story time of how I lost my iPhone 8 Plus. Now, I know your parents tell you not to meet people or make friends online because of danger and rapists and all that horrible stuff. I was friends with this guy on Snapchat because he added me a few years ago and asked me to hang out with him one day, and I said, okay, sure. So he came over to my grandpa's house and he was playing this game called Washu with me and my dad. And if you don't know what that is, it's a game where you have either beanbags or metal circle like rings, and you have a box with a... So this is where I realized that this doesn't look right. Metal stick in the middle, and you have to throw your beanbag or your metal circle thing inside the box or like close to the box, and you get a point. And we were playing that, and he was, really nice and was becoming my friend. Then the next day, he comes back over, and my dad offered him to stay for dinner. And he did. But when he came over, he brought a big, huge gym duffel bag, and it only had like 2 or 3 things in it. It had his iPhone charger and his vape box, and that was it. And we were chilling outside in the backyard, and he goes to charge his phone on my grandpa's walker because my grandpa's walker was near the phone outlet, and he proceeds to charge it. And then I was sitting on a deck that was outside, and I put my phone like beside me, and he then comes over and sits beside me and looks at my phone and touches it and then says, "Oh, that's a nice phone," and he hands it back to me. And then 10 minutes later, he comes back and takes my phone, and he's like, "Oh, it needs to be charged," and he puts on his charger. 20 minutes go by. He says to my dad that he can't stay for dinner because he has to go home for family problems. This guy, this motherfucking dude, when he leaves, he decides to scoop my phone with him and friggin' take it and steal it. And I noticed that he took it because it wasn't on my grandpa's walker where he was charging his phone. And I was like, "Dad, this kid stole my phone." And my dad was like, "Oh, he wouldn't do that. He's too nice." And I'm like, "Well, where is it? It's not on grandpa's walker where he was charging it, and it's not where I was sitting on the deck." So my dad immediately gets in his truck and goes to where this guy lives. And I get my dad's iPad, and I then go and find my iPhone. And this guy had my data on. Like, he literally turned my data on. So I called my dad, and I was like, "Dad, he has my data on, and I know where he put my phone." He put my phone across the road from his house. So my dad is waiting in his parking lot for him. We waited there for like, I don't know how many minutes now. And then me and my sister get in her car and go to where my dad and his friend is. And then as soon as me and my sister get there, my sister was like, "Is that him?" I was like, "Yes, that's him." So we get out of the car immediately, and same with my sister. And she goes up to him and says, "Where's my sister's phone? Give back my sister's phone. I know you have it." And he was like, "I don't have it." And my sister was like, "Well, let me check your bag." And he was like, "It's not in my bag." And my sister was like, "Well, check it then." So he didn't check it. He tried to say that he had to go because my sister said that she was going to call the cops if he didn't give back my phone. And then he started walking away. And then my dad's friend chased him in his apartment building, and they ran down the hallway out the back door, and then he ran across the road, and then my dad started chasing after him. And then me and my sister just went back to our grandpa's house. We were waiting and waiting, and then the cops showed up. And then my dad calls us, and he was talking to the cops and said that everything was fine, that we don't need them. And then my dad got my phone back. And I was like, Dad, you have the case with it. My dad's like, no, he's out looking for it. And then my dad was waiting and waiting there. So the guy left his duffel bag in my dad's truck. My dad comes back home, eats dinner, and my dad says to me, he's not gonna get his bag back until he gives your case back. I don't think my dad was supposed to do this because it was violating his privacy and his things. My dad searched through the duffel bag to make sure that he didn't steal anything else from us, which he didn't. And then a few minutes later he texted me, but I didn't know who it was because I deleted his contact. I deleted him off all my social media and whatever. And he says, can I have my bag back? I got your case. And I told my dad, and my dad went back to his house. My dad gave him his bag back and got my case back. So I got my phone back. That's pretty much the story. And to this day, I don't talk to this kid. I don't have contact with him. Just remember to be cautious of who you talk to on the internet because of reasons like this.